So let us turn today to page 9 of the Daily Express, where the aforementioned James Cleverly has written an article, I suspect with crayons, because it contains these words. With rising inflation, the highest tax burden in 70 years, and forecasts of a recession, it may not feel as if there is much to celebrate at the moment. Let me borrow your Crayola, Cleverly, and add a few other things to this list. We have energy bills that are reaching into the stratosphere while the companies that profit from privatisation continue to post the sort of profits that look to the rest of us like telephone numbers. We have water companies pumping effluent into our waterways as if it were going out of fashion, while allowing billions and billions of litres of water to leak away every day, shortly before announcing that the whole country's going to have a hosepipe ban because there's a drought on the way. The NHS is absolutely creaking at the seams. When Conservatives came into power in 2010, the patient satisfaction survey with the NHS was posting its highest ever results, the highest ever levels of patient satisfaction. And then your lot got in. And you proceeded to rise up the ranks by defending and praising every single thing done by every single leader since you got into government in 2019. 2018, actually, when you became deputy chairman of the Conservative Party. And you're writing an article in a newspaper that actually contains the words, "We can turn the ship around. And this leadership contest gives us a chance to do so." You can turn what ship around? The ship that you've been on for your entire political career. The ship that not only have you been on, but which you've been telling the people of Britain is a brilliant ship, crewed by the most fantastic people and led by the best captains imaginable, both of whom you saluted as they stood on the bridge. And I can't begin to understand how anybody, and it's perhaps a little unfair to single out James Cleverly, but he's the one that chose to write an article for the Daily Express about it. An article that lists the calamities, some of the calamities that our country is facing, and then says, oh, make Liz Truss Prime Minister and we can fix things. The absolute unawareness or ignorance of the fact that they've been in power for 12 years is off the scale. It truly, today, it truly baffles me. I'm absolutely baffled. And that is really the thing that we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to do the Marvin Gaye, what's going on. I'm not going to do the mythical coma patient. Imagine I've just woken up and tell me what. I just want to know how they get away with it, or whether or not they are going to get away with it. This government, let's just have a quick look around, okay? NHS, 12-hour waits in A&E for 30,000 people, right? Creaking at the seams, huge staff shortages. Partly, largely perhaps as a consequence of the Brexit, they still tell you is a good idea. The economy is shrinking again. Inflation is rising again. Interest rates are up. There is a recession on the horizon, according to almost everybody who knows what they're talking about, which probably means Jacob Rees-Mogg will be on the other side of the argument. The energy crisis is epic, and it's going to kill people. The situation with our privatised water companies is absolutely catastrophic. Everywhere you turn, the cost of living, the food in your shops, the shelves in your supermarket that are simply not as well stocked as they used to be, largely because of Brexit. Labour shortages. Everywhere you turn, restaurants closing. Absolutely everywhere you look, you see the consequences of 12 years of Tory rule, plus Brexit, plus right-wing client journalism. That's it. Have a look around. That's what you get. Brexit plus Tories plus client media equals this. All of this. Every single little bit of this. And then you have the uncontrollable, the uncontrollable variables, like the war in Ukraine, which obviously exacerbates all of these problems. But Liz Truss is literally campaigning on a ticket that says we need more of the same. You look at the energy companies now, look at the profits, look at the water companies, look at the leaks, look at the sewage, and imagine for a minute a human being standing up and saying we need less regulation. Don't even mention Grenfell Tower. Imagine a human being looking at energy and looking at water and thinking we need lower taxes, which allows these companies to keep even more of the money that they make. And we need less regulation. which is the only bullock, the only obstacle to pumping poo into your rivers that currently exist. And it's not a very good one, but Liz Truss thinks we need less regulation and lower taxes. It's incredible. We are 12 years into this journey, and have a look around. And James cleverly is cheerleading for somebody who wants more of the same, while simultaneously claiming that if you vote for her, then this ship, which he's been calling the best ship in the history of the universe for the last 6 years, this ship will miraculously turn around. This is really, really strange. That's better. Phew, I didn't even swear once. I need a question. That is generally how this medium of radio works, or at least this particular form of radio. I am absolutely gobsmacked today, truly, and I do this for a living. I've got my face bang up against the screen every single day. I am genuinely gobsmacked at the arrogance and the ignorance of a single politician who can construct sentences designed to convey the idea that you need to vote for this person in order to undo the damage done by the last 3 people that I have praised and sung to the rafters. Absolutely unbelievable. 17 minutes after 10 is the time. I think we'll do the other one, the third option from my box of tricks. So we're not doing the Marvin Gaye, what's going on? We're not doing the coma patient. Imagine I've just woken up after being asleep for 6 years. Explain to me this absolute mess. Let's do how do they get away with it? And just focus on this, especially if you're a Tory voter. I'd love to talk to you if you're a Tory voter. I will tickle your tummy if you're a Tory voter thinking of ringing in to talk to me. How much responsibility do the governments you've elected bear for what's happening to the country that they govern? It's such an odd question to be asking. 12 years. 12 long years. And everywhere you look, there's a skip fire or a clown car or a combination of both. A clown car in a skip fire. Everywhere you look. From health to hospitality. From energy to water. Everywhere you look. And your lot are telling us we need more of the same. And you're probably going along with it. So what's the point? What's the point of having a government if they're not responsible for anything that happens as a consequence of government? What's the point of having a prime minister if the mess created by the last 2 prime ministers has nothing to do with the last 2 prime ministers? What's the point of having a Secretary of State for Education if he thinks that all the things he's been telling us are brilliant are suddenly awful and you need to vote for the latest person that he's signed up to support in order to undo all the damage done by the last 2? Think about cleverly. Just think about him. Think about all the times you've seen him in studios, all the times you've heard him on LBC, defending Theresa May, defending Boris Johnson, and now writing an article saying, with the right leadership, we can turn this ship around. What ship? Your ship. Unbelievable. 20 minutes after 10 is the time. 0345 6060 How do they get away with it? You can't just say client journalism. You'd have to go a little bit further than that. But have a look out of your window. Get your head out of your backside for 10 minutes and have a look around. I'm talking to Tory voters now. How do they get away with this? They are conducting a Conservative leadership election to select the next Prime Minister in a way that pretends someone else is responsible for the condition that the country is in. 12 years. They gave you the Prime Minister that the Daily Mail wanted when David Cameron got in. They gave you the Prime Minister that the Daily Mail wanted when Theresa May got in. She was the steal of the new Iron Lady. They gave you the Prime Minister that the Daily Mail wanted when Boris Johnson got in. And they're about to give you the Prime Minister that the Daily Mail wanted when Liz Truss wins.